Hi, everybody. Let me set up and let everybody know that we're live. Give me 1 second, guys. Please, and thank you for your patience while I set everything up on my end. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. We're trying to set everything up. Go get it. 1 sec. Hey, everybody. Ooh, shout out to you from Philadelphia. Shout out to everybody. I'm waiting, y'all. Okay. All right. So we're going to get started. I'm sorry about that. We're going to get started. There's an article that was just released that I want to talk about that literally I don't know how I feel about it. So we're going to look at it first together. Shout out to everybody in the chat. For those that are new, we're talking about the Emmanuel Haro case, the missing 7-month-old boy from, well, missing, abducted. I don't know what, because we don't know if that's what actually happened or if parents did something to this child. We don't know. But this little baby from Yucaipa, 7 months old, okay? And it was outside of a Big Five. Mom was driving to go get a mouth guard. She was changing the baby, and somebody hit her from the back and said, "Hola," and knocked her. She woke up with a black eye, and the baby was gone. That's what the story is, okay? There was a nonprofit, if you guys remember earlier on, that offered to help, and they were collecting money for the searching of this baby. And it was a Uvalde Foundation for Kids, okay? Well, a nonprofit wants to resume the search for missing Cabazon baby and is baffled. The parents have not responded. This was just today, the 21st, okay? Frustrated officials at an organization that have offered to help search for the missing 7-month-old boy, Emmanuel Haro, only to withdraw the offer when law enforcement said the boy's parents had stopped cooperating with the investigation, have issued a direct challenge to the parents to resume the search. Okay. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids had also offered 5,000 reward for information on the whereabouts of the boy, who the mother said was stolen from her on the 14th of August, which is a week. It's been a week today, outside of the Big Five in Yucaipa, but rescinded that as well. So, but in light of a statement by the attorney from Jake and Rebecca Haro that the couple actually were cooperating, the organization decided to give them the benefit of the doubt, reached out to Haro's with a new offer of assistance. However, the foundation's latest news release Wednesday night, last night, it said it plead and challenged the family, but they've been met with silence. So basically, the foundation found out that the family wasn't cooperating with law enforcement. So then the foundation says, well, because the attorney told the media that they are cooperating with law enforcement, they reach out to the family and say, hey, listen, there's a cooperation. So yeah, we're here to help you. We'll help you. Mind you, the parents are bitching about the fact that they don't have a car, they don't have all the things that you need. They can't get around. Remember that, okay? They can't get around. There's no car. They're upset about that. All right. So this organization comes back and says, hey, we're willing to help you. We're willing to offer, the help again. So now they've decided to basically say, no, we're good. We're good. We're not going to help out anymore. What happened? The foundation did a news release Wednesday and basically said that the release began with this bold statement, this written statement in boldface and italics. If someone threw me a lifeline, as we have done for them, I'd reach out before it even hit the water. And yet, here, silence. This is what that organization said. The release added our newest attempts have been met with silence, and it baffles me. We're running out of patience. It is unclear on Thursday how much time had elapsed between the new offer of assistance and the publication of the release. A foundation spokesperson could not immediately be reached for comment. The foundation stated it is prepared to send members of its volunteer safety teams directly to the family residence to provide aid and support if they decide to come forward and actively participate in the search efforts. Remember, they said, we don't got a car, we can't. God forbid. I know it's like 100 and 15 degrees out there. Yes, it is hot. It is hot. We get that. But your child is missing. Some people would be crawling in search of their child. What's the issue? You said it's gibberish? Whew. You said the parents are complicit. There's something going on here. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, Bossy. Everybody. Hey, Evil Queen. Everybody coming through. Thank you so much, guys. Would you believe I was in Yucaipa this weekend? No, Jody. Wow. How was it? Did you see everything that happened? All the commotion that was there? They don't want the baby to be found. If he is found, it'd be more likely have passed. If the parents are innocent, they're acting very suspicious. You didn't get a notification? I noticed. I think people aren't getting notified today. I don't know. Maybe the notification button isn't working. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Thank you though. It's hot as heck out there, but I'd still be looking for my child. I mean, 7 months old. Baby can't self protect. So again, they offered to help again, a lifeline, as they said, and they declined it. So they said that the foundation is prepared. They haven't responded. Stated it's prepared to send members of its volunteer safety teams directly to the family residence to provide aid and support if they decide to come forward and actively participate in search efforts. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids is a nonprofit organization that supports children and families in crisis. Haro's attorney, Vincent Hughes, could not be reached for comment at midnight Thursday, which would be like today. I guess he can't be reached out for comment. Hughes had said that the Haros had received death threats. Social media posts are filled with speculation on the causes of Emmanuel's disappearance. Yeah, it's true. With many people convicting the Haros, I mean, it's not looking too good. Who have not been arrested or charged. They have not, but the speculation is that that's coming next. The foundation addressed those issues in asking for Haros to resume the search. They said, so here's our challenge. Join our search and you will be protected. Okay. A community seeks answers. You say you do. Prove it. And our foundation, and most assuredly, a community will follow. You have the opportunity to change the sad trajectory and narrative of this case. If you have nothing to hide, step forward. You will find you have more support than you could ever imagine. Finding Emmanuel should supersede everything else. I couldn't agree more. And the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office has put the ground search on hold. Why? Because new clues have resurfaced. And I'm assuming that some of these new clues have to do with any of the footage that has been seized in all the areas, because there's a lot of footage. Like I said, it is a very, very, what's the word? Very, very busy intersection. Now I'm going to see if I can go to the Uvalde Foundation. Uvalde Foundation and see if their statement is public. Financial, Brian Wilson. Is this it? Updates and news. Oh. This was 4 days ago. They haven't updated their social media, but I guess they answered the news. So this was 4 days ago that this was posted, but there's nothing new to it. So nothing is updated on their website. If they aren't looking and the police know something, right? Please go back to listen to the funeral video. Why? No search by them. Well, that's the thing is that Uvalde reached out and said, "Hey, we know that you weren't cooperating. We were told you weren't cooperating. Well, guess what? We're back, and we want to help you. If you got nothing to hide, then you got nothing to hide, right? Like, what is it? Come out here. You're worried about death threats? Okay, our community is here to help you. Like they said it on their thing. They said it out there. If you have nothing to hide, then what's the issue? They said if someone threw me a lifeline, as we have done for them, I'd reach out for it before it hits the water, and yet silence. The release added, our newest attempts have been met with silence, and it baffles me. We are running out of patience. I'm going to find the original release, but I don't see it on their website. Let me see if I can Google copy it. Hold up. The foundation, this is yesterday's article, that they are ignoring the help. They went out there and they said, hey, like, we're willing to help you. And if there's nothing to hide, then we're here. And this is, and I agree. I agree with them. And then the news recently confirmed the Rebecca Haro's brothers him unaliving his girlfriend. Like this, it's been officially confirmed that all of this, they have all of this on their past, so there's that. I mean, but like I said, if you got nothing to hide, then what's the issue, yo? The silence is no bueno. No, it's not. You see, Jake Haro in the last 8 years, he filed like 30 workers comp complaints from 6 different ups. That's what I heard. I heard that he was him and so did Rebecca. That so did Rebecca. That they filed so many workman's comp things, different injuries. It's weird. She did the same too. So what is that all about? Like, is that like a thing that they do? I don't know. It's weird to me. I have no idea. Abby Blabby posted, does anyone else find it odd that the police asked Rebecca to take a lie detector test, but not Jake? Excuse me. To take a lie detector test, but Jake refused. And then Jake immediately hired a criminal defense attorney afterwards. And edited to say it is reported that Rebecca possibly retain her own attorney yesterday. So she might have an attorney. I don't know. And not just that, but he hired the same attorney who got him a slap on the wrist sentence after he and Vanessa almost K'd their 10-week-old baby back in 2018. And that's not all. Attorney Vincent Hughes is known for being one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the area. He was chosen as a recipient of the 2025 Elite Lawyer Award. He won the AVVO Client Choice Award in 2021 and 2022. Those are just a few. He even won awards while still in law school. I'm sure his retainer isn't cheap. He probably costs a small fortune. So this is what I want to know. If you've done nothing wrong, why would you do that? Well, because everybody needs a defense lawyer. I also heard it's very easy to get your law degree in California. So there's that. The lawyer is out of Fontana and his wife works for the same court. That's what I heard, that the wifey works there too. Sylvia, I heard that too. Mm-hmm. You said, I think Jake is gearing up to blame Rebecca. That's what we are all saying too, as well. Yeah. They have a child playing football. How did he survive infancy with these parents? I mean, the child, Eli, is the one from his first marriage. Actually, let's go to that. So I did pay for some court records to officially pull from Superior Court of California, County of Riverside, and I pulled a couple documents here. And the thing about the Riverside and the minute orders on these, they're not like Some counties and some, like, I've done a lot of court stuff, so like some counties in the minute orders will give you a lot of information about what's going on with the case. Not California, not this county. I don't know. It could be the court reporter, it could be whoever's filing things here and there, right? So this is what we know because people get this timeline mixed up, okay? Jake Haro has been married 3 times, okay? His first wife was Isabel Gutierrez, or excuse me, Isabel Gonzalez Haro. That was the first wife, okay? So people are aware. That wife, he shares a child by the name of Eli. Eli was the one who had football practice. Okay? So there's that's one child, all right? So I went back and I was looking at their divorce, right? And their filing. So they filed sometime in 2016. All of this. Now, nothing really stands out to me other than they filed for divorce, dissolution of marriage. And I'm looking at this. I'm gonna look at this and review it with you guys. Here, it is. Let's see. Confidential contact information. A lot of information is already redacted, so I'm not worried about leaking any information. But let me tell you what happened in 2016 when they were filing for divorce. Child custody, visitation, child support, spousal support, all of this. So his response, Jake Mitchell Haro, was filed. Okay. So, and they did this, I think, without representation or anything like that when they were divorcing. Okay. I'm going to see, and I'm going down to figure out. I mean, it just looks kind of like a normal type of divorce, nothing too crazy. This was 2016. Okay. They had one child that we know of. Okay. Let's see. They were fixing again child custody, visitation, child support, spousal support, all of this. Jake Haro was asking for spousal support. Okay. So let's see. Both parties, stipulation agreements. Nothing stands out to me. Hold up. This court has jurisdiction to make child custody orders, in this case, under the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Act, Family Law Code 3400. Violation of the order may be subject to parties in violation to civil or criminal penalties. Okay, both parents furnished with a copy of this order. This is just kind of the stuff at the divorce court. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. This was a minute order, hearing, child, again, nothing too eventful. Like there isn't anything too eventful that's being reported here. Now I'm going down. At some point, child custody, they were recommending some kind of a counseling for the child. So this divorce, it could have been a situation where there was difficulty in the divorce and, child, they were recommending counseling for the child. This is pretty normal, okay? One of the things that I was looking for, because I know California does this, is I was looking for a CSI, one of those child, what is it? Child service investigators, like independent investigators, not CPS, but they're typically like court orders. It could be a guardian ad litem, or it could be like a court order investigator that is for the child to figure out like what the child wants, how the child's doing, and they go out and they do their independent investigation for the court. But in various orders, it was recommending counseling in referring to the child, like here, order to attend child custody, recommending counseling. So what this tells me is that at some point, it does make you wonder if somebody was missing these counseling appointments that the court was ordering for this child to go to. Okay. Contentious divorce, maybe, or just in general, just a divorce, and they're wanting to make sure the child's okay. All right, hold up. I'm going down to figure out anything else here that stands out. Again, this is in March. Every month, the minute order says referred to counseling for child. It's like a monthly thing that is happening that the court is making a reference to. So this goes all the way to April. April, they mention it again. Okay. Let's see what else. Here's more. April again. Okay, this is right here. Both parties furnished with copy of order pursuant to referral to child custody recommending counseling. Okay, they were given an order. You got to take this child to counseling. Okay, so this is what they were asking. It further keeps going. Let's see. It goes into May. Child support filed by Isabella Rebecca. Here it is, the first wife. Okay, so she's filing for all this. And the request for changes at some point, she made a request for change for child custody, visitation, and all this. The mom did. Okay, let's keep going. And that is basically kind of where everything ends. This is all the way, the minute order goes to 2019. Okay. So at some point, hold up. Nope, it keeps going. My bad. Hold up. Yeah, well, how many pages is this? Just gives you an idea. Look at this. Visitation awarded. So at some point he was having supervised visits. This is dad was having supervised visits. Look at this. Court orders the public social services to conduct an investigation to prepare a report. At some point, CPS got involved with that child, Eli, on their first marriage during the divorce in 2019. It says it right in the minute orders that the court was ordering. The court can do that. They can order the Department of Human Services, social services, whatever every county calls it a little bit something different. They can call it to get involved if there's something that the court sees needs to happen. Maybe it might have been the fact that they kept ordering them to get this child in counseling and maybe they didn't do it in time. I'm not really sure. Or maybe it happened during the visitation when it was supervised, whatever it may be. Maybe something didn't go well there that made them tip them off. So with that, okay, so then it goes. Court orders the Department of Public Social Services to conduct an investigation. Okay. And then it goes, parties referred to Family Court Services, tentative CCRC appointment. All right. So they were referred to a different court. At some point, they went over there to the juvenile. This is family law. So at some point, they went to the juvenile court and referred them this case over there. And maybe so that CPS can review and supervise and see what's going on. Court awards sole legal physical custody of Eli, okay, to who? To Isabella Rebecca Gonzalez, the first wife. Her middle name is also Rebecca. Sorry, guys, I'm not paying attention to the chat, so I apologize because it takes me a minute to read all this. So, Mama got custody, okay, sole legal physical custody, all right. Visitation awarded to Jake Mitchell Haro as follows: frequent and liberal supervised visits. Okay. Visits to be supervised by the mother or a third party agreed upon the parties. So for whatever reason in 2019, Jake needed his visits supervised, and they made the mother supervise, which I find that to be a bit of a conflict, but I'm just saying they made mom supervise those visits. Just saying. This court has jurisdiction to make child custody orders. In this case, under the, they put in the enforcement code that violations of the order may subject the party in violation to civil or criminal penalties. Okay. The habitual residence is in the United States of America. We're going to keep going. And so let's see. Anything else stands out to me? Letter from New Life. Look at this. And finally, after when the divorce was filed, back in 2016, and they kept going and going and going, figuring out custody and visitation. Here we are in 2019, and they finally get a letter from New Life Family Counseling. Okay. So what does that letter say? We don't know. Just gives you an idea of, this looks like a typical minute order. There's not a lot of information. Okay. In 2019, there's more child custody recommending counseling regarding custody and visitation orders filed. Court awards a sole legal and physical custody to Isabella, back to the mom. Visitation awarded to Jake Haro, the dad. Now it says professionally supervised visits with the minor 1 time per week, 2 to 4 hours. This case has jurisdiction to make custody orders under the so professionally supervised does not mean the mom. That typically means somebody outside of the family, somebody that can write reports about the visitation. So it just gives you an idea, okay? Violation of the orders. Okay, that's basic. You go to jail, civil stuff. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see. Another hearing. Okay. What is this? They got a report and a recommendation. I just don't know what CCRS means. I don't know if that's a lawyer. Every state, hold up. CCRC is the Child Custody Recommending Counseling. CCRC regarding custody and visitation orders. So they got a recommendation on child custody on Eli, the first child. Okay, court continues to award sole legal physical custody of this child to the mom. Isabela visitation continues to be professionally supervised. Look at this, is crazy that they kept saying professionally supervised. I mean, could he not be trusted with his child alone? What happened? And this was back in 2019. Okay. The divorce is already done and finalized. Okay. So they're still going to these meetings. Now, here it is. At some point, the court closes the case. Okay. Because it's kind of like, all right, it sounds like a CCRC, the Child Custody Recommending Counseling, whatever third party this is, gives the recommendation to the court. Okay. And then they do another hearing in May, proof of no service, dissolution with children. They kind of like, they don't necessarily close the case, but they kind of put this case on hold, right? There's no more filings. Maybe the kid is doing well. Maybe dad, because it does sound like he does meet the second wife. So the first wife is Isabela. He meets the second wife, which is Vanessa. Okay. But let me tell you what's new in these minute orders, okay? Which is what we discussed this morning. Isabela, being the protective parent that she is, she decides to go to court where she filed for divorce, where she was going back and forth on visitation and counseling for her child, where she got referred to DHS, all this stuff, right? And in the same filing, they filed on August 19, 2025, she files for a DV restraining order on dissolution with children of Jake Haro, filed by Elizabeth. Okay, or excuse me, Isabela. I keep calling her Elizabeth. Isabela. She requested this on the 19th. She requested a restraining order. That's great. She wants to be protective of her child. You got this situation happening. You know, Jake needed supervised visits for several months, which kind of makes you wonder. I'm gonna be honest with you. When somebody's, that's not normal. Does that make sense? It's not normal for a parent to have many months, like a good, I would say maybe 2 years after a divorce, supervised visits. That's what you could see in these court documents, okay? Propose on the 19th of August, proposed restraining order after hearing, DV, and on DV with children filed by Isabela. Okay, it's the same repeated minute order, all right? Now, notice of document return on the 19th. Now, here's the update, and everybody write this on your calendars because this is an update for this case, this DV restraining order. On September 9th, they're scheduled for a hearing on that restraining order, and it's a permanent restraining order on request filed for DV with children filed by Isabela. Again, they have a hearing at 8:30 in the morning on September 9th regarding that DV protection order that she has filed for herself and for her child. That is a protective parent. I'm glad that she did this. Honestly, I'm glad that she did this. Good for her, right? Because she needs to. Like, my God, you guys, thank you so much. I missed you, Rabbit, but I'm here always listening. Thank you, that Ellen. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Sylvia, thank you guys. Y'all make me so happy. Thank you. So this is the first wife with Eli the child. Now, another piece of information we found out this morning was the football practice that Jake and Rebecca were going to with 7-month-old, you know, with the baby, right? With Emmanuel Haro, was to Eli's football practice. Okay. Isabel was there, but she never saw baby Haro there. So this man who fathered her child has been on supervised visits. It looks like since 2016 they filed for a divorce, and they kind of went on many years after that. And there was a stop in 2021. Seemed like everybody kind of got their stuff together. Everybody kind of moved on, right? She's like, listen, I got to do what I got to do to protect my kids, right? I got to do what I got to do to protect my kids. So this is what she does. She files for a restraining order, which is smart. Okay. So Isabel, first marriage, one child, Eli. She recently filed for a restraining order. There's a hearing scheduled September 9th at 8:30 for this restraining order. And she's asking for a permanent restraining order. Keep in mind, they have a history of supervised visits. That's not normal. Okay. It is very telling. You are absolutely right. It is very telling. Very smart for her to have gotten that. We don't know what state of mind this man is in or anything like that. I mean, honestly, we don't. So I'm glad that she did that. Okay. So let's go to the next wife. All right. Now, this one, let's see how many pages we got. Oh, we only got 2 pages. It's not too crazy. But remember the date that Abby Blabby posted on her social media? She said that the 10-week-old baby promised faith, right? It was October 2018. That's what this stood out to my head. I can't remember the exact number, but it was the month of October 2018 was when this baby was rushed to the hospital. I heard a rumor, and I'm trying to confirm this too. Did you guys know, this is just a rumor, so it's allegedly, Jake Haro tried to sue the hospital for the injuries to the baby. Jake Haro was blaming the hospital for the injuries to this baby. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Okay. Yeah. So to try to kind of deflect, he was suing the hospital. Now I went to Pacer because you can find lawsuits like with business and entities. I didn't pull anything. This is the rumor. I'm waiting for more. I'm digging for legal paperwork on this because if he filed a lawsuit to the hospital, I mean, that would be public record. We would want to know. Yeah. So that is a rumor that's out there. I'm trying to find the legal paperwork to confirm it. Yeah. So in 2018, when the stuff happened with the 10-week-old baby, right? When she was brutally beaten by both parents because both parents were charged, right? He tried to sue the hospital. He first of all, he was blaming Vanessa, and then he was blaming the hospital. He wasn't blaming himself because, yeah, he's quite the character on paper. All right. So, but that being said, I will circle back on that. I have that on a dot note somewhere over here. Okay. And we gonna look into that. Okay. I'm searching wide for this information. All right. A little birdie hit me up and said, hey, did you know this? I said, well, I need an article. I mean, I know the hospital names. I need a lawsuit. I need something. Unless he attempted to and it never went through. That's a whole different story. Okay. So, shortly after that incident with the 10-week-old baby, the divorce starts with Vanessa Haro. Okay. Now, Vanessa Haro and Jake have 2 children, I believe, okay, together. The oldest one, it's been said that he was born with FAS, fetal alcohol syndrome. Okay. And so, filing for divorce. Jake Haro is the one that files for a DV restraining order filed by Jake Haro. Here it is. Okay. This was shortly after that incident. Let me tell you, you know what? I don't want to make up dates. Let me see if I can find the exact date of this. And it's been posted over and over Promise faith, because the date is very telling, I think. See if I can find that article. October 18th is when this happened. This is what everybody's been repeating. October 18th, y'all. Okay? I'm going to show you guys. Let me remove this real quick because I think the dates are very interesting. October 18th, it's right here. 10-week-old, Promise Faith. At the time, her name was Carolina Rose, was rushed to Hemet Valley Hospital. These right here, if you're suing a hospital, that's going to be a public record. So that should be easy to find, but I'm looking and I haven't found anything yet. Okay. So I've put a pin on that. Okay. Well, where do my tabs go? All right. Let me remove this. October 18th. Remember the date. Let's go back to the legal paperwork. Okay. He files for a restraining order on the 22nd of October. Jake does. Okay. On October the 22nd, he files for a restraining order. It's immediately assigned on that day. There's a hearing. Okay. And the children are kind of all in this, right? Proposed restraining order after hearing DV on domestic violence with children filed by Jake Haro. Okay. Now remember, this is when Jake blames her. I don't know if they were blaming each other, but this is what happened, right? Vanessa was said to have been drinking when she was pregnant. So I don't, clearly she was somebody that was doing a lot during her pregnancies and it affected her children. Okay. Further goes. It gets assigned. Okay. On November 8th, 2018, there is a hearing. It's a permanent restraining order on request filed by DV with children by Jake Haro. Okay. Hearing. Permanent restraining order on request filed on DV with children filed by Jake Haro on October 22nd, 2018 at 8:30 a.m. in Department H. Honorable Nicholas. Okay, the judge's name is there and everything. There is a court reporter. Appearances. No appearances. At 9:22, the following proceedings were heard. No appearances by either side. So this man goes and he files a restraining order but makes no appearance for the hearing, which was scheduled on November 8th. The person that wrote these minute orders says, at about 9:22 a.m., the following proceedings were heard. No appearance by either side. Service was not effectuated upon the respondent. Court makes the following orders. Temporary restraining orders were not previously issued in this case. Temporary restraining order terminated, dissolved as to DV with children filed by Jake Haro on October 22nd, 2018. Complaint dismissal. After hearing dismissal, lack of prosecution. So they can't do anything if somebody doesn't show up to the DV hearing, right? There isn't a whole lot that we can do. Yes, that's right. And I mean, consider the because every county does it a little bit different, every state does it a little bit different. So consider that. But this is when he was in hot water, right? And he was trying to deflect, and I think that's why he filed what he filed. He's like, let me file something quickly because I need to get this done, right? Like I can't be doing this, all right? Okay, so he doesn't show up to his restraining order hearing that he filed. It's crazy because it's like sometimes, like I remember when I first started, as a social worker in the department, sometimes just reading the court minute orders, depending on who writes them, can really tell you a lot about everything that's going on without having to ask a bunch of questions. And it's kind of taking me back to that. But I mean, this should just tell you a little bit of like an insight. Now, there's not a lot of information that they're writing here. Like I said, every state does their minute orders a little bit different, but you can kind of make out a little bit of what they're saying. Some of the abbreviations are different because they all vary from state to state and stuff like that. Okay, so there's a divorce. Remember, Jake and Vanessa are still married. The situation happens with Promise Faith. And he's like, I got to go file for a restraining order that he doesn't show up. But there is a petition for divorce. Okay. And guess who files it? Vanessa Haro. And she files it on November 2nd of 2018. She files it. Her name is there. Okay. And again, the second, November 2nd of 2018 is when she files this. Let's see what else it tells us. Okay. She pays $450 to file this on her own. Okay. And it's assigned. Proof of service is provided. Okay. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see. 3 pages. That's it. That's all we have. Declaration for default or uncontested dissolution. On dissolution of marriage with children filed by Vanessa Haro, filed by Vanessa. Notice of entry of judgment. Marital status, domestic partnership. This was April 11th of 2019. Terminates on the dissolution. So Jacob never answers, and this could happen. You could very well get divorced without an answer of the other partner. Given the severity of this situation, this is now 2019, right? Jacob Haro is probably in jail around this time. I think he was sentenced to 180 days, and then he gets 6 years of work release, probation, whatever situation happens, okay? He doesn't answer. There's no answer entered here from Jake Haro. So this tells me, well, hold up. Hold up. I misspoke. Okay, there's one here. Request to enter default on dissolution of marriage with children filed by Vanessa Haro as to Jake Haro. Okay? Request to enter default. That's the only thing that it says there. Vanessa writes out the debts, everything else, because you can file divorce on your own and everything, and you could settle all this and with the children and stuff like that. And here is the thing about CPS cases is that I'm pretty sure that that there was another CPS case involved at some point here, but because of the privacy issues, we can't get into those. We only know about the divorces and maybe criminal cases, okay? But at some point in 2019, they were divorced, all right? And it's default, that's it. Like it's uncontested. There was nothing that he was fighting at this point, right? He was probably behind bars at this point, and he had lost the custody of his children at this point. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. You said sounds like two idiots. I mean, and then wow. That's crazy. Sorry, I got you, Sylvia. I'm not surprised. And then he gets married again, right? There's no paperwork there. I'm sure there's a marriage certificate and stuff like that. We don't have anything. He gets married again. Divorce from Isabella, okay? Loses 2 children with Vanessa, and now he's married to Rebecca Haro. Okay? Mm-hmm. I think it's 5. I don't think it's 6. I'm counting the first one, which is Eli. Then I'm counting the 2 that he lost, right? And then there's another. So there is Emmanuel, and then there's a 2-year-old that apparently is both of theirs. I didn't even know that was their child biologically, but apparently it is. So he has a total of that he's fathered, okay? Not that he's raised. Let's be very clear that he's fathered. He's got a total of 5 that we know of. 2 of which he has lost custody of, you know? That's what it is. You said, this gives the vibes of S17 podcast. Something was wrong podcast. Basically, a guy that abuses the children and not their partners. Scary. Really, I've never heard of that one. Melissa Kramer, thank you so much for the $4.99 for supporting the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate it. His history is very questionable, honestly. But like I said, you can learn a lot from some of the minute orders, you know. No, they can't. They don't get into that. The court can't tell you not to have children, although I'm just like, why did he continue to have children? You know, he's hurt children. Now, if he was a registered SO, it would be a different story, right? If his victims were, I don't know, man. Like, all of this is just so crazy to me. All of it. I don't know how. The other two children he doesn't have to care about. Remember, his rights were terminated. Okay. So in order to legally adopt those two other children, the other ones that he abused with his ex-wife, Rebecca, excuse me, Vanessa, sorry. They're like, their names are all over the place. Um, he doesn't have to take care of those. Once your rights are terminated and you're like, you can basically, kids get adopted, right? Everything kind of goes. You have no legal rights over those kids. You might have fathered them, but you have no legal rights over them. So termination is a huge deal. And I mean, I don't think he would have fought that or anything like that, you know? Wives are easier to control when you have common children. But the thing is like, and like I said, I really do praise Isabella Gonzalez, for being smart and saying, no, F this, I'm gonna go get a restraining order. Because literally a divorce, I mean, I've never gotten divorced, okay? But when I have seen divorces in like court filings, a divorce that people kind of handle with each other, it's like black and white. They handle it, they do their own I've seen that happen before where they do their own filings, right? Where it gets a little contentious is like there's kids, right? Even when there's kids, people can kind of like tell the court what they plan to do. In some states, you have to tell the court, like, where's this child going to reside? Is he going to reside with you? What about the debts? Like that kind of thing, right? If the court senses that y'all can't get your shit together here, then that's when they bring in these like third party investigators before they refer you out to CPS, right? So I think the biggest red flag when he was divorcing Isabella, when all that was happening, was clearly the fact that like this kid needed therapy and he couldn't get it together. Listen, Lorena Bobbitt was not off. I'm sorry, y'all, but some of these people, I mean, it goes both ways, right? Like women and men. Don't be having kids you can't take care of, Sure, accidents happens, there's adoptions, there's all kinds of things that you can do to provide a child a good life. But don't I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. So, I'm just saying, You said in 2024, Louisiana became the first state to pass a law explicitly authorizing judges to order surgical castration for those convicted of certain aggravated S crimes. Really? Why are y'all laughing? Listen, I mean, like, I hope that I mean, Lorena Bobbitt has written books. That guy went out, the guy that had the peen cut off, he went out to go do prawn, okay? Like his life was only altered for however long, but he didn't die, right? Like what was that one guy in that one movie? But did you die? He didn't die, all right? Like it's a horrible thing, but he didn't die. He had a surgical thing, he got an implant, and then the thing was working again. And then he started doing prawn videos, okay? And yeah. There's something different though when you're hurting a child. But did you die though, right? I mean, I would imagine that would have been a very scary thing to have gone through, but did you die? But did you die? It did not. It survived. And apparently it still worked. Just saying. Oh my god. So Sylvia, shout out to Sylvia. She sends me by the breaking news, even though I'm not going to do a live about this. The board denies parole for Eric Menendez. Denial for 3 years. The Menendez brothers, for at least for Eric Menendez, not all brothers, but for Eric Menendez. For both parents, for both brothers, I don't know. That's crazy. So they're going to be sitting there for another 3 years? They denied it. Some of y'all like feel like they need to be free, and some of you guys feel like they don't. It's denied, all right? It's denied for 3 years. I'm sure that new DA is very happy because he didn't want them out. He didn't want them out. He wasn't in support of them being out. That new DA is no joke in Los Angeles. So heads up. Thank you, Sylvia, for the heads up. You said, and in some parishes, the judges use that. It basically says that they have to chemically castrate before leaving prison. Really? Like if you can't leave prison if you don't get castrated? Oh, so one brother was in that. Thank you, Diddy Doc. I was confused because I thought it was at both hearings. So Eric Menendez hearing was today and his was denied. I don't know how they wouldn't. Why would I think the other one's going to get denied too? I mean, I might know how that story ends. Thank you, Diddy Docket, for the heads up, my love. Thank you. Thank you. He could do corn, but he doubt he could still have kids. Oh, I don't know, man. You said it's only for the one brother. Tomorrow's the next brother. Oh, man. I wonder what led them to deny it. I'm kind of curious to see. I bet Mark Garagos is having not a very good time with this. You know, that's their lawyer, Mark Garagos. I don't know, guys. As more information is coming in, shout out to SF Investigates. He had our panel this morning, and he said something that I think a lot of us are kind of right there because we've seen kind of this play out in certain cases, right? In certain situations, um, I think we're just waiting, right? We're just waiting to figure out if they're going to be like released. We're just waiting, and excuse me, not release. If they're going to be charged, or what's the next step? We're kind of waiting at this point, right? Like we want to know what's next. What are they waiting for? The lady doesn't look like she's going to speak anytime soon. Maybe I don't know, y'all. What's going to get first? What's going to be first? Are they going to turn on each other? Is he going to turn on her? What evidence do they have? What's next? And apparently, it's being alleged that the last time they saw the dad, he was seen buying a saw. Like I'm like, oh my god, all of this is like, please, 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 it's new information. That keeps coming and coming and coming. You guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, I said, I wonder what's taking the cops so long. Well, maybe they have all the, like, that's the thing. It's like, you never know. You never know, man. You just never know, yo. But I wanted to review that history with you guys, and share it a little bit since I did get it. I just find stuff like that to be interesting. And now that we have a thorough watch, and I think everybody's watching the parents, like all the, I mean, the parents they got so much commotion going out there. You think he's gonna turn? Looks like he's gonna turn in her, like he's gonna blame her. I'm telling you, if this is predictable patterns of behavior, man, I don't know. And the fact that they didn't even respond to that agency that was trying to help them, you know? You said, was there an investigation done on that fire, Belen? Belen, they I think what they said preliminarily, it doesn't look like there was any connection from the fire to anything. So that's why they kind of left it alone. But y'all, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Um, you want an egg? Where do you want eggs from? What kind of egg do you want? A bunny egg? Well, can you? It's not Easter, so we'll have to wait. Okay, we'll have to wait. Dio, shake my hand. Okay, give me 5 minutes. Oh, that's Pokies. Give it to me. Yeah, it's a Pokey. It was dangerous. 5 minutes. Dio? Okay, thank you, my love. Okay, sorry, y'all. I got everybody talking to me. She said, you said, yes, she's going to get thrown under the bus. Something suspect. Yeah, Baby Bunny wants an egg. She wants an egg. If he didn't know what she did, he'd make sure Rebecca did lie detector, but he had zero curiosity of what happened. It's just so much to this. You know what I mean? She likes those little egg surprises. Don't do that. Put it down. Put it down. Thank you. All right, I gotta go. Give me a second. 5 minutes. Okay, go. Sit right there being nice, girls. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. She's all over the place. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. That Ellen, thank you again. Sylvia, thank you. Melissa, thank you. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. I really do appreciate it. If anything else new comes up, yeah, the this one, kinder joy eggs. Nope, put that down. Thank you. I gotta go. Yeah, she loves those. Say bye. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later. I gotta go. She's too much. Bye, guys.